watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa. We made it. It is Friday, my friends, and we have a jam-packed show. I think this is probably the most guests that we've had on the show in maybe my 20 years of television. The green room is packed, but we are starting in the kitchen. Who doesn't love pizza? And we're going to talk more than just pizza, though. We're talking affordability, accessibility, sustainability with my first two guests. I'm joined by Karen Secord, Director of Development and Communications with Nutrition Blocks. Karen, welcome to the show. And aspiring television host as well, right, Karen? I've just been told.
Absolutely.
And Erin is the founder of Nona's Famous Pizza. Welcome.
Yes,
Great to have you here as well.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to make some pizza, but before we get to that, Karen, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about Nutrition Blocks and the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so Nutrition Blocks was founded about 6 years ago by a guy named Abhi Pattar, and he's from India.
Okay.
And he ran the nutrition program in Boston, Massachusetts, and so he knows all about school nutrition. But he came to Canada and he said, "What the hell is going on? Why is there no school nutrition program here in Canada?"
Really?
And as we know, and as we've heard recently from the federal announcement, we're the only G7 country without school
Without
food.
a national
school food
yeah.
program. Yeah. So we deliver and create programs for children, low-income children, vulnerable kids, at-risk youth, and we're doing after-school programming for kids right now, summer
Excellent.
meals, and so imagine kids, going to school without food, and then coming home, and we know the price of food right now.
No kidding.
And so kids are going to their after-school programs in city neighborhoods, and they're getting a full hot meal.
Fantastic. What a wonderful initiative. So, Erin, tell me about Nona's Famous Pizza. What makes it so famous?
Well, it was created by Nona. And Nona, it was a famous lady. She moved to Canada back in the 50s,
Okay.
immigrated, and she has
She's your family member?
She's my husband's Nona.
Okay, your
Yeah.
husband's Nona.
Yes.
How, Erin, did the two of you connect, you and Karen?
Actually, Catherine Landry
My good friend, yes.
from She Shops Local and Ladies Who Lunch, she connected us.
Yeah, Catherine heard about what we were doing, and I was talking to her after the announcement of the $1 billion from the federal government, and telling her that our plan is to do a school pilot in September in 2 low-income schools to provide a universal free lunch to everyone in those schools, and to see what happens. We know that when children eat a good meal, a midday meal, they do better, and we've tested that in city camps over the last 2 summers, and they behave better.
Mm-hmm. Better concentration, right?
Yeah, they have more energy,
Yeah.
and if we want children to learn, and you can see from the card there, we want to nourish but the potential of the next generation. You can't send kids to school if they haven't eaten.
Agreed. Yeah. And then look at that right on the back of you. You can, if you've got your phone handy and you're right by your TV, you can just scan that QR code and donate $5 today, right?
And that pays for a meal.
Excellent. You've been giving back too, though, right?
Yes.
Through Nona's Famous Pizza. How have you been giving back, Karen?
Yes. Well, back during the lockdowns, I was creating these pizza kits for my children, thinking, wow, what a great sensory activity.
Right.
And we get to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we know, lockdown times were really hard for parents.
Yeah.
Well, everyone,
Yeah.
but especially parents trying to put, delicious and nutritious meals on the table. So my husband said, why don't we do a give back to our community? So we had some troubles coming back home to Canada from Texas back in 2018.
Okay.
And we learned that we were expecting triplets.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And you realized I need to make pizza because I got to feed a lot of people.
We have to make our own pizza, so yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's make some pizza here.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Let's get started
All right,
here. Might as well have some fun with that. So it's like pizza with purpose.
Yes,
I love
pizza
it.
with purpose.
Okay.
And 30% of our proceeds are always given back to community initiatives, charities, foundations, hospitals, schools, we really believe in the mutual aid aspect.
That is great. I love, and you've given over 40,000 now.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It's
that's like in such a short period of time, right?
It's an amazing community that we have here in Ottawa. They're so supportive of local and giving back. That's for you, sir.
This is for me.
That's
okay.
for you. We're going to show them how easy this is.
All right. So you sell these kits, what, online? Do you deliver? Like, tell me how the business works.
Yeah, so you can go to our website. It's an e-commerce-based business.
Okay.
Everything's produced in a commercial kitchen down in Little Italy.
Oh, nice.
At
Well,
the family
of course.
table. So it's a very fresh dough, so it's big and fluffy.
Great.
How's it feel?
It feels amazing.
Feels nice.
Like, that is the fluffiest dough I have ever worked with.
And that's actually known as rolling pins, so be gentle.
Oh, Nona?
Be very gentle.
I'll be very careful, Nona. I'll be very, very careful.
As my granddaughter would say, "You're jealousing me." Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, you're jealous. She sends
great.
me pictures, jealous because I'm celiac and can't get close to that dough and can't have it. I now feel jealous.
Now, when I should, this is something the viewers probably don't know. Producing and hosting the show, I send a document to all of my guests, and for fun, at the bottom of the document, it says, tell me something interesting about yourself, or something that nobody knows about you. And Karen, you wrote, "I'm a terrible cook."
I'm a terrible cook.
And being with Nutrition Blocks, I think that kind of shocked me.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. So Nutrition Blocks designs and delivers these programs, but we don't have an office. We don't have any space at all.
Right.
We run a cross-sectoral business. So we work with charities. All of our meals right now, or 90% of them, are actually produced at the Caldwell Family Center.
Oh, really? Wow.
Right. And
okay.
so we pay them $5 a meal, and their chefs produce the meals, and that helps them employ their chefs, and they make about 400 to 500 meals a day for their community, 5 days a week,
Wow.
and it helps them to be able to do that.
That is fantastic.
It's a social enterprise.
Okay, mine's not quite as nice as yours, but pizza doesn't need to be nice.
No,
right?
it just needs to be
It just needs
delicious.
to be fantastic,
And
exactly.
it doesn't have to be round.
And
No,
also,
you're right. You're
yeah.
right.
a tip is
Yes.
just with the rolling pin is
Yeah.
to start in the middle and roll out.
Okay,
Just-
okay.
You're
Got
doing
it.
a pretty good job,
Not
though.
bad.
I might need to hire you in the summer.
I could use the extra work. No, I'm kidding. I'm too busy. I was just telling one of our other guests, Joe Riding, who's here, the executive director of the Canadian Tulip Festival, that taking over producing, it's busy, but it's a lot of fun. That's for sure. So this is the famous sauce, Nona's famous sauce.
This is the gravy, the Nona gravy.
The gravy, I love
Who
it.
my mother-in-law actually taught me how to make sauce.
Nice.
Italian way.
It's the only way, right?
Exactly.
It's the only way.
So we're gonna pour a little
right.
on there.
And would you come out and teach us? So we have a group of kids, I think I told you, from the SWAG program at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And so it's an after-school program, and mostly the teenagers, they're supposed to be coming, a lot of boys, they're supposed to be coming to study. Students will all graduate, but mostly they're coming to eat. And
Nice.
and I'd like to have them do some
I
cooking
would
workshops.
love to do that.
Look at this. This sounds
love to do
fantastic.
that.
So we're going to buy them 10 or 20 of these kits.
I love it.
So they
What
can
a
make
great idea.
pizza, and it'd be great if you could.
To find out more, by the way, nutritionblocks.org. And if you want to order one of these amazing pizza kits, nonasfamouspizza.com. We're going to finish these up a little bit later. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't you go anywhere.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is and make her eligible to receive an exclusive makeover package. Just send us a few sentences telling us why your mom is so special and why she deserves a free professional makeover. The winner will receive an incredible makeover prize pack consisting of makeup and hair care services courtesy of Bruno Racine's Salon and L.A. Barrett. They have both worked with some of the biggest stars in North America.
Hi, I'm Paula Roy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back into my kitchen for another season of Paula Roy's Favorite Foods. My approach to food is pretty straightforward. Fancy is fine, but when you're in a time crunch or have a really hungry and patient family to feed, I say simple recipes made with wholesome ingredients that you probably have on hand are the best. And that's exactly what you'll find on Paula Roy's Favorite Foods on Rogers TV.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite, and that is going to the dentist. Better yet, what if the dentist comes to you? I've always had a great experience with dentists, but my next guest has a really unique experience because she has a mobile van that comes to you. I am joined by registered dental hygienist Shannon Maitland and owner of Complete Oral Wellness. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back again. On this segment, I just want to reintroduce myself to everybody. My name is Shannon Maitland. I'm a registered dental hygienist. I'm a dental hygiene educator. I've been a dental hygienist for 15 years.
Wow.
I left working private practice for a dentist. I started teaching, and then I opened up my own independent dental hygiene practice.
Right.
Now, hygienists, we have our own regulatory body. We are allowed to practice independently, and there's a couple of ways we can do that.
Okay.
We can be a home base where we can have a clinic set up inside of our home. We can have a storefront. We can be mobile. Mobile being like long-term care facility where the hygienist will bring in their equipment inside, or like for me, you can have a mobile dental hygiene van. So I have a ProMaster, a Ram ProMaster that I've outfitted the inside of the van with a dental clinic.
Yeah,
so
you sent us some pictures too, so if we can bring some of those up as you describe. So, I mean, who's your regular client? Like, describe the demographic you most work with.
So overall, probably general population. Now it's kind of like it's Amazon Prime for your teeth, right? Because everybody wants that convenience and that accessibility. So families, busy moms, because I can come to the house and then you're not having to bring all these children into the office. You can entertain your other children inside your home. Or maybe there's people who don't have transportation.
Right.
So that's a big thing. Limited mobility is a big thing. Our senior population as well. And having a mobile dental hygiene van that will come to your home, or it could be home, it can be school. I've met a mom at the child's school.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
Construction sites. So there's all these wonderful things. And now we have our new Canadian Dental Care Plan.
Yeah, tell me about that. So how does that impact Canadians, and how does it probably doesn't, does it impact you in any way?
It does impact me. So I am a registered provider for the Canadian Dental Care Plan program.
Okay.
So 1 in 3 Canadians have financial restrictions that limitate them from getting dental care.
Right.
And again, we have 1 in 3 Canadians that also have periodontal disease. So it equates to the math that there are 9 million Canadians that do not have dental health care right now at the moment.
Right.
So it's going to help bridge the gap for Canadians who don't have access to dental care benefits, who file their taxes. So right now, anybody over the age of 70 can apply. And coming June 1st, anybody with a taxable disability benefit and children under 18 will be able to apply. And then the remaining population will be able to apply January 2025.
Yeah, and I think it's incredibly important because, you know, anything that goes wrong, you know, in your mouth, you know, orally, it affects the rest of your body. I mean, we're talking, this is a big deal for those 9 million Canadians. You've got a 1-year anniversary coming up, right? What have you got planned for the anniversary?
So for our 1-year anniversary, we'll be at the Carleton Place Farmers Market. I'm planning a free oral cancer screening, as well as I'm giving away this water pick. So if you come and get an oral cancer screening, you can have a chance to enter into the raffle to win this water pick Aquarius.
Amazing. You're going to give me a screening today,
Absolutely.
right? Okay, I'm going to come sit over here. This is the things you do as a live television host. You just you put your trust in people. Don't be frightened over there, Karen. Shannon is an absolute professional. See, people hear dentists and they get scared, Shannon. I don't know why. I've never had a bad experience
and
at the
I
dentist.
wake up this morning and I'm like, Derek, would you like to have a free oral cancer screening on the show today?
And I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it.
Okay.
So it's fairly quick then.
Yeah,
right?
It probably takes about 2-3 minutes to have an oral cancer screening done by your healthcare professional.
Okay.
Now, it is the standard of care. It should be done at every examination when you go to the dentist.
Okay. So if your dentist isn't doing it, you should ask for it.
Yeah,
right?
advocate for having a screening. Again, independent hygienists, we have a little bit more flexibility in our schedule as well.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and touch you, okay?
Sure.
We have a little bit more flexibility in our schedule, so I do book an hour and a half per patient so that I can perform these standard of care screenings for everybody.
And you get a free head massage.
And you know what? That's one of the most things that people say. So
it's awesome.
We check for lumps and bumps. We check your lymph nodes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm checking your lymph nodes under here.
Yeah.
And then I check your thyroid region, making sure that there's no enlarged thyroid.
Okay.
And anytime if we do find anything suspicious, we will write a referral either to an oral surgeon or to your medical doctor as well.
Gotcha.
There we go. And I'm going to get you to open and close for me. There we go. No pain, clicking, or popping?
Nope.
Perfect. So I'm just going to change my gloves, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the intraoral examination.
Okay.
Safety first. So
of course.
you got to wear your glasses.
Oh, well, hey, man, I like the shades. This is one of the best things of the dentist. Now they have, you just get to sit back and pretend you're in Cuba, you know?
Relax.
Get to relax under the lights.
You need that little side holder for your margarita. Okay, so when we do an intraoral exam, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to check all the lips.
Okay.
And I'm going to get you to slightly open for me, Derek. You just keep that tongue in there just right now. So taking a look around, making sure that everything's okay. I'm going to turn my little light on here.
Okay.
Okay.
How's it look?
It's looking good. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm just going to use this mirror. This is was a clean disposable mirror, and then I'm going to give it to you after so that you'll be able to perform your oral cancer screening on yourself. Did you know these little bumps down here, these are called tori. These are completely normal.
Okay.
I check your palate, and then I'm going to go all the way back here, and can you say, ah? Good. Everything looks good back there?
Right on.
Now let's check your tongue.
Okay.
So
we got 30 seconds left, Shannon.
Okay, well, let's do it fast.
Okay.
Stick that tongue out for me. Gonna wrap it in a little blanket. We'll check each sides here. I don't see any lesions, and then you may have it back.
Nice.
There you go.
Look at that. Shannon Maitland, everybody. Farmers Market, what's the date again?
May 11th.
May 11th.
May 11th.
And you have a chance to win this amazing water pick and get a free cancer screening for yourself. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this. This is a first for me on television, and I've done a lot of stuff. It's amazing.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
My Uncle Cheney was one of over 150,000 Indigenous children that were taken to residential schools between the 1800s and 1996. My uncle ran away from school, wanting to get home to his mom and dad, and sadly he didn't make it and died of exposure. When Gord Downey found out about my late Uncle Cheney's story, he wrote Secret Path, a series of poems that became an album, then a graphic novel, a documentary, and a concert. Gord met my family, and together we formed the Gord Downey and Cheney Winjack Fund. Together, we are sharing Secret Path and other reconciliation resources with legacy schools, setting up legacy spaces across Canada, and hosting events like Secret Path Week to inspire all Canadians to engage in reconciliation. Before he left us, Gord asked us all to do something.
You're gonna figure it out.
Will you join us? Together, we can make Canada a better place.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. May is Sun Awareness Month, and if you were a kid like in the 70s, like I was, you never even heard of sunscreen. My goodness, I can't believe how often we were outside without sunscreen. So incredibly important, and to walk us through why that's important, I'm joined by certified dermatologist from the Ottawa Hospital, member of the Canadian Dermatologists Association, Dr. Sophia Colantonio. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's first of all talk about being a dermatologist, certified dermatologist. What do you do exactly?
So what that means is I'm a doctor, and I have 5 years of specialty training in the skin. So in the skin, the hair, and the nails. And I have the most experience in terms of dealing with these conditions to help patients out the best.
The Canadian Dermatologists Association, what do they do? What is the purpose of the association?
So this is a national organization of dermatologists. So we've been in existence 99 years. Next year's our 100th year. So we've been around for a while.
That's amazing.
We know what we're doing to try and protect Canadian patients' skin and keep them healthy.
So let's talk about that, the steps that we should be taking. You know what, let's throw the video first. We'll go to the video and then we'll come back to you and I'll get some of your advice because you sent along a fantastic video. Let's go to that now.
Sun safety isn't just a one-day affair, it's a daily commitment. Malignant melanoma is a potentially life-threatening form of skin cancer that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Knowing the signs can make all the difference. That's why the Canadian Dermatology Association uses the ABCDEs of melanoma, a simple guide to recognizing the signs of this type of skin cancer. It goes like this. Asymmetry is when the shape on one side is different from that on the other side. Border is when the border or visible edge is irregular, ragged, and imprecise. Color notes a color variation with different possible hues, including brown, black, red, gray, or white within the lesion. Diameter. Growth is typical of melanoma. It can measure more than 6 millimeters, although it can be less. And evolution. Look for a change in color, size, shape, or symptoms such as itching, tenderness, or bleeding. Melanoma commonly appears on the back and legs in lighter-skinned people and on the hands, nails, and feet in darker-skinned people. Sun exposure is a major risk factor in causing melanoma. It's Check Your Skin Day, and it's a simple act that can save lives. In addition to limiting sun exposure, especially from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. when the UV index is greater than 3, seeking shade, wearing protective clothing, and using an SPF 30 or higher broad-spectrum sunscreen, checking your skin regularly is one of the most important things you can do. So take steps to protect yourself and your loved ones and help prevent the long-term consequences of too much sun. Sun safety starts with you. Be sun safe.
So that speaks to a lot of what we're talking about today, but just let's remind people of the steps you should be taking on a daily basis, Sophia.
So what everyone should be doing, regardless of their skin tone, is wearing sunscreen. So sunscreen is for everyone. So everyone should be wearing SPF 30 and above.
Okay.
And what to do is to look for the logo. So we have some of the sunscreens here.
Right. Yeah, and I'll hold this up to my camera so we can get a shot of that. The logo's it's fairly small, but you can see it's right in front, right?
Yeah.
This means what exactly when we see this logo here?
So it's the sun protection program at the Canadian Dermatology Association. So it's a group of dermatologists. We vet the sunscreen, so we do all the work for you in picking out what's the safest and best sunscreen. So these all mean they're SPF 30 and above, that they're low fragrance or fragrance free, because fragrances can bother and irritate the skin.
Of course.
They're non-comedogenic, meaning they won't cause pimples, and that they're very gentle on the skin. So we do all the hard work of figuring out what's the best ones out there, and we put our logo as our seal of approval so that you have confidence when you're buying a sunscreen, you know this one will be a good one.
The video touched on as well what to look for. I guess you should be doing your own screening on a fairly regular basis on your own skin?
Yeah, so it's important to have an inventory of your own skin and know what your moles look like.
Okay.
And so as the video went over, it's the A, B, C, D, E of melanoma. So looking for A, asymmetry, so if one side is different than the other.
Okay.
B is for irregular borders. C is for colors. So if you have multiple colors, that's concerning. So reds, blues, blacks, browns, multiple colors in the same spot, that's something to be concerned about.
Okay.
D is diameter bigger than a pencil eraser. So if something's 6 millimeters and above, that's something that could be concerning. And E is for evolution, something that's doubling in size, tripling in size, growing an arm off the size, bleeding, painful. Those are all signs you should go and see a healthcare provider and get a referral to a certified dermatologist.
There's a lot of beauty products out there, when it comes to moisturizer and things like that. Like, should you be careful on what that label says? I mean, should we be educating ourselves as far as, anything we put on our skin?
Yeah, again, you can look for the logo. So the logo program.
So even on beauty products?
Even on beauty products like moisturizers, we have the Skin Health Program, which is also done by this Canadian Dermatology Association. I'm part of that. I go through the products with a group of dermatologists, and we similarly look to make sure that things are fragrance-free, they're not going to irritate or bother your skin, they won't cause acne, so they're non-comedogenic, so we make sure that the products are the right ones for you.
You and I were talking just a little bit during that video. Boy, have we come a long way, right? I was saying to you that, as a 70s kid, I mean, we never used sunscreen. I mean, and you said it perfectly to me, right? It wasn't your parents' fault. We just didn't really know.
It was a different era, so it's not to be hard on yourself. So we can make positive changes going forward. So that's always good to know that even if there was some damage that occurred in the past, today's a new day. You can start again, and wearing sunscreen daily, wearing sun protective clothing, so you can look for UPF 50, which would be the same thing as like SPF. It's UV protective factor.
Fantastic.
So looking for that.
Dr. Sophia, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. You can find out more, by the way, ottawadermatology.ca. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere. We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is and make her eligible to receive an exclusive makeover package. Just send us a few sentences telling us why your mom is so special and why she deserves a free professional makeover. The winner will receive an incredible makeover prize pack consisting of makeup and hair care services courtesy of Bruno Racine's Salon and L.A. Barrett. They have both worked with some of the biggest stars in North America.
I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. The Canadian Tulip Festival is back again. It runs May 10th to the 20th. Lots of activities going on. I'm joined by the Executive Director, Joe Riding. Joe, welcome back. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the bad news, shall we? Because you've had some funding challenges. Let's start there, Joe.
Oh yes, no. All live events, festivals have really been facing a tough road.
Right.
And so what we used to be able to expect pre-pandemic is now at about half those levels at the federal, provincial, and municipal levels.
Okay.
And in our particular case, our municipal funding is due to be removed entirely by next year, and then we are dependent on a juried system.
Wow. Okay.
Because we're a free festival and because we are commemorative, our mission is to keep the Canadian Tulip Festival free.
Right.
It's one of the few free things we have left in this world.
100%.
And you know, as I always say, you wouldn't gate and ticket Remembrance Day, so we're not going to gate and ticket the Tulip Festival.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, you've kind of, I wouldn't say kind of, you have rebuilt this festival over the years. Now you have this new challenge. What are you doing to build it yet again?
Same
Joe?
thing we always do, work harder.
Right.
Yeah, so when I took over in 2019, the festival was, well, anything that's 68 years old is bound to have a bit of mission drift.
Right.
So my goal was to bring it back to a balanced budget, rooted in the tradition and the story of the tulips, and take it from there. So I did that in 2019, only to be faced with a pandemic for 2020 and 21.
Yeah.
And then back in 22, 23, the world's different. We aren't in a pre-pandemic world. We're in a post-pandemic world with inflation through the roof, suppliers are more expensive, and personal spending is down. So we understand we're going to have to work within a budget for the next little bit, but basically what I do is I just get more creative with it.
I'm not surprised to hear that, because you are incredibly creative. This is in conjunction this year with the Royal Canadian Air Force's 100-year anniversary.
That's right.
What are you doing to commemorate that at the festival?
Oh, so exciting. So the RCAF Centennial, we're going to kick it off with our official opening ceremonies on Saturday, May 11th, and we're going to have a CF-18 fly overhead.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat a real plane. And then every night we have our free show. It's entitled Operation Manna.
Okay.
So it's a sound and light experience where we will have actors, we will have screens, lights, fogs, explosions, you name it.
Cool.
And it'll basically make you feel like you're in the Air Force during the Second World War, and that you're part of Operation Manna, which was the biggest humanitarian effort of the Second World War, led by our boys in the air.
Yeah.
And then for our grand flying finale, a 200 drone show over Dow's Lake at our closing.
So this is instead of fireworks, right?
That's right.
Which is amazing, because, you know, I'm a dog lover, right? I would love to have my dogs come out with me. Like, we like to take them wherever we go.
Yes.
And it's not just that factor. There are other factors when it comes to fireworks, but the drone show is, I mean, unbelievable.
Drone show is so much more friendly. It's a perfect fit for the Air Force, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have to come home and apologize to my dog for the noises that I created. And it's also better for Dow's Lake. You're not dumping sulfur and paper into the water.
Right.
So there's so many reasons why it's a better option.
Let's talk Dow's Lake. So what other activities are happening at Dow's Lake?
So yeah, free park, open to everybody. We got matinee shows, we've got evening movies, we've even got concert movies on Friday and Saturday night. So I can say that, you know, Ariana Grande and Justin Timberlake are coming to the Tulip Festival.
Nice.
So that's awesome. And then, of course, our nightly sound and light show, our Blacklight Boardwalk is back.
Oh, that's amazing.
And we've even expanded that into Byward Market this year.
Yeah, so you've got activities that are happening there as well, right?
Yeah, we do.
Which is a great space for it.
That's
right?
it.
Everyone's been
So-
talking about the revitalization, getting people back down down there.
That's right. It's time to give our valued tourism properties some love.
Yeah.
And the market's going to be 200 in 2 years.
That's right.
We're 72 years old this year. So 2 of Ottawa's largest, oldest tourism drivers thought, let's get together. Let's start making a difference. To create change, you got to be brave. So, you know, I'm one to jump in. So we jumped in and we said, look, we believe in the Byward Market and it's time to bring programming back. We expanded the Blacklight Boardwalk concept. We're talking 8-foot foam tulips, bees the size of basketballs, butterflies the size of, I don't even know what, a medium-sized dog, and all the glow pollen you can handle.
Amazing. Oh, I cannot wait, because I'm just a bike ride away, so I love going down to the Byward Market. That's going to be special.
Don't miss Tulipalooza, Saturday, May 18th, 5 to 10. Live DJs, and all the glowing, funky flowers you can handle.
You know, on the historical side of things, it's interesting, right? Because you're right across from the new Ottawa Hospital, right, being built. You've lost the parking lot there as well, but I'll get to that in just a second. But what's the historical significance of being across from that?
Well, that's just it. Commissioners Park is the perfect location for the Tulip Festival because not only does it have the most concentration of tulips in the city, but it's also about a block away from Princess Marguerite's birthplace.
Oh, yes.
So the Dutch princess was born here. The only royal person born in Canada was born here in 1943, just up the road from where the festival now exists.
That is cool. I didn't even dawn on me that bit of history. So the parking lot's no longer there, but you've got something unique, right? You've got 2 approaches on how to get there.
Yeah, pretty soon we were going to be airdropping people in. But yeah, so here's our approach for this year. We've got Carlton parking, P7 parking lot. That's at the north end of Carlton. We've got a water taxi that is running from Colonel By to the Dow's Lake Boardwalk.
Nice.
So you can take that for a cost.
Okay.
I think it's $12. And then we're also going to mark out the walking path from Carlton.
Okay.
Now, that has stairs in it. So if you're looking for accessible parking, either drop off at the Dow's Lake Pavilion roundabout, or we've set up no parking, only accessible parking on Dow's Lake Road.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
There's options there. And then you can always, if you're looking for a longer stroll, park at the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum.
Okay.
Enjoy the museum.
Yeah.
The path will be marked, but you'll also get to go through the Dominion Arboretum and the experimental farm and all of their flowers.
No kidding. Joe, always a pleasure. Thank you so much and all the hard work you and your team have done. TulipFestival.ca to find out the full schedule. We'll be back with more right after this.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Six Nations, and I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles.
Competition between spirit, earth, and wind, let me tell you now.
This song in particular, The Shiner, is a special song that I wrote for my grandfather. He was a snow snake maker, and that is a Haudenosaunee winter sport. It's my job to educate and to share, and the music allows me to do that.
He'll be shining snow snakes and mudcats to the end of his days.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Welcome back to the show. Palliative Care Week is coming up May 5th to the 11th, and it's an important time just to think about not just those that are going through the process, but those that are caring for them. And here to tell us more about that, I'm joined by Amy Tibbin, the Outreach Coordinator of Beth Donovan Hospice. Welcome. Great to have you here. And Janet Lee Ferris, who is the Volunteer Coordinator. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Amy, first, let's talk about Beth Donovan Hospice. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, so we've been in Kemptville for just over 30 years, and actually we started in Merrickville. So we do serve Kemptville, but we serve the surrounding area. We have a large catchment area, and we help those who have a terminal illness, the caregivers, those who are grieving a loss.
Mm-hmm. Right. Janet Lee, why do you think it's important to have this awareness week?
It's very important. With COVID, a lot of people weren't going to see their family doctors, and families couldn't say goodbye to their loved ones the way that we normally would in a hospital. So by coming to us at the hospice, we have the resources to help them and to provide them with the care and support that they need. So palliative care is very important.
Yeah, Amy, how would you describe palliative care exactly?
Yeah, so it's person-centered care. And
right.
We're caring for the individual as a whole. So whether that is medical care, which we often think of that, we think about the nurses, the doctors, the emergency rooms. But palliative care is about comfort.
Right.
So we need to look at the person as a whole, and we need to help them with their spiritual wellness, their mental and emotional wellness, their social connection. Oftentimes people who are grieving or those who are ill are doing that in isolation. So how can we support the whole person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and generally, I think it's also a time to be able to talk about and raise awareness about the importance of looking after caregivers as well, right?
Absolutely.
You know, they're going through a life-changing moment themselves, right?
Absolutely. They're the ones looking after their loved ones, and they're not looking after themselves. So what we say to them is, if you're not looking after yourself, what happens if you get sick?
Right.
There's nobody there to support you or your loved one then at that time. So caregivers take on a huge responsibility when they look after their loved one who is terminally ill or dying imminently. And so caregiver support is vital to their health and the health overall of even the individual who's dying, because it's a commitment, it's a team thing. It's just a beautiful story, but they need to look after themselves.
Yeah.
They really do.
And it's important to acknowledge that caregivers do a lot of the work. So yes, we need our medical community, we need our doctors, our nurses, our PSWs, we honor them, but let's widen that lens and let's acknowledge that caregivers do something like 75% of the care on a day-to-day basis long term.
Right. You've got a couple of special events coming up. Let's talk about that panel discussion. Describe that for us.
Yeah, so on Monday, May 6th from 6 until 9, we are at the Ottawa Conference and Event Centre, and we are hosting a panel discussion in conjunction with the Outcare Fund, and it's to raise awareness about community-based palliative care. What does it look like? How can we advocate for this? We have some really great speakers. Valerie Facette from the Champlain Hospice and Palliative Care Program is moderating. Paul Adams, who is the co-chair of the Canadian Grief Alliance, is one of our panelists, along with Dr. Tanya Zeckham, who is a palliative physician. And also Chelsea Lanois, who is a paramedic with the Renfrew County Paramedics. She is there to talk about community paramedicine. So how can paramedics be involved in providing end-of-life choices and supporting folks who are at home? And also Monica Patton from Compassionate Ottawa will be on the panel, and she always likes to talk about the bigger picture. She always says that it's not any one person or doctor or neighbor that's going to enhance that end-of-life journey for people. It takes a whole community.
Right.
So how do we look at this from a whole community perspective, and how do we advocate for stronger palliative care and earlier access to palliative care for everyone?
Yeah, Janet Lee, so when we look at palliative care here in this country, what is missing? Is it just not enough organizations like yourself? that are available to people?
That's a tough one.
I would say integrated, right?
Yeah.
Integrated palliative care. So there's there's hospices doing the work, there's community organizations doing the work.
And there's private organizations, but we all need to come together. And what we face in the rural is much different. We don't always have access to those organizations or those resources.
Right. Yeah.
So for us, it's difficult.
I understand,
and so hospices like us in a community like Kentville is enormous because we do the advocacy. We reach out for those in palliative care so that they get the support.
You also have a, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that question is the perfect question, and it's exactly what we're going to be discussing at that panel discussion on Monday night. Yeah.
Good. There you go. Go see the other experts to talk about that. You have a 6-part speaking series as well, is that right?
So it's a 6-week speaker series that'll happen every Thursday starting May the 13th. And what it is we're bringing in experts to help those who had just gotten a life terminal diagnosis.
Okay.
And so because they get that, their whole landscape changes. Like they had this map of their life and now it's changed, and a lot of times they don't know what palliative means to them or in general. So we're bringing in the experts to explain what palliative is, but to let them know that they still have control, they still have a lot of life to live. There's resources and how to have the difficult conversations with their loved ones, even with their family doctor or palliative doctor.
Yeah, of course.
Like how to have that conversation and to set goals of care. And then also, what are the resources that they have access to through us. But on the second week, May 23rd, we have Dr. Sammy Winemaker and Dr. Sin Sao coming, and they're Canadian authors who are also doctors.
That's why you handed me this book, right, when you came in. Yeah, this is an excellent book. They're coming to talk about this book, which is Hope for the Best, Plan for the Rest. And they have 7 key points in there to help build confidence in the individuals and their families and loved ones so that they know they can go through the health system, navigate it more easily. They know what to ask for, what they have available to them to live life to the fullest. Amy, before I run out of time, quickly, if people want to register for either of these, what's the best place to do that?
They need to go to our website, bethdonovanhospice.ca, and tickets are available for purchase for both events there, as well as many other educational events that we put on.
Excellent. Thank you both. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is and make her eligible to receive an exclusive makeover package. Just send us a few sentences telling us why your mom is so special and why she deserves a free professional makeover. The winner will receive an incredible makeover prize pack consisting of makeup and hair care services courtesy of Bruno Racine Salon and L.A. Barrett. They have both worked with some of the biggest stars in North America.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
To you.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Just talking to my next guest, what a magical place that green room is that we have here, because you get to meet so many different people and find out about things that are happening here in our city. And they're going to tell you about a wonderful thing coming up on May the 12th. Here to talk more about it, I'm joined by Siva Chokliam. He is with Ottawa Sangreed. Welcome back. Also known as Flute Siva.
Thank you.
For those that recognize you from your great music. And Lakshmi Krishnan from the Chinmaya Mission Ottawa. Welcome to you as well. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
You were saying you didn't even know about this show until you came today, so this is a great introduction for you.
Absolutely.
Let's first of all talk a little bit about your backgrounds.
Sure.
I mentioned obviously you're a musician, but tell everybody at home a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a local artist, go by the name Flute Siva. So I make like YouTube covers and all. I have like a big following on YouTube. And one other thing I do is organize events, especially Indian classical music. And I have a non-profit organization called Ottawa Sangeet, and I bring high-profile Indian classical musicians. It started back in 2013, and so every time I get a chance, I bring them. If I find out if an artist is touring North America, I try to bring them to Ottawa.
Fantastic. Lakshmi, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm here representing Chinmaya Ottawa Mission and one of the board members. Chinmaya Mission Ottawa is a fully volunteer organization. It's part of the larger global organization. In my day job, I actually work for the government. I work for the National Research Council.
Okay.
So I'm a life science scientist, but here I am representing my passion, which is to work with the mission and to work with people, and to really take the time to first understand my own Indian heritage, but also to celebrate it and to be able to share in the stories and all of the different beautiful, rich traditions we have.
So how do you go about that then? Just with the education and culturally, obviously introducing your culture to others. How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, so Chinmaya Mission Ottawa, we like to deliver spiritual, educational, and cultural activities. And our programming regularly includes classes for all age groups, from toddlers all the way to octogenarians. And depending upon the group, we will have special programming where we are talking about various aspects of our Indian culture, help to celebrate and understand Indian philosophy, particularly what we call Vedanta, and also give you practical tips. How do you take that very ancient 5,000-year-old rich culture, but actually translate to how you can live today, and what are the tips you have to live today. So we're really trying to build wholesome people and leadership skills in all age groups and giving back to the society. These kind of are driving principles.
Yeah, Siva, you mentioned, part of Ottawa Sangeet too was to introduce people to Indian classical music. How would you describe Indian classical music?
It is spiritual and meditative. It has a long history, and there is two forms of there is classical music from the south part of India and the north part of India. And just we collaborate just because of the spirituality behind the music. So that's the whole connection between Ottawa Sangeet.
And perhaps for some too, to be introduced to some unique instruments as well,
that's right? Yeah. So this, especially the concert on May 12th, it's by Maestro Shashank Subramaniam. He's one of the topmost Indian classical musicians. So he plays the bamboo flute, and he's accompanied by a violinist and Indian drum.
For yourself, Lakshmi, are you musical yourself?
Yeah,
as well?
I mean, I'm certainly not a professional artist like Shiva is.
Yeah.
But Indian music is actually something that is very much inculcated in all children of Indian heritage. So I learned classical Indian music as a child. Most people have some exposure to it. And so I think one of the nice things of partnering with Shiva is that we get the opportunity to actually celebrate that tradition. And Chinmaya Mission has always used music, dance, theater to actually tell and narrate stories, right? And in this case, music, because it has no language, it's just a perfect medium by which we can both kind of work together and partner and actually have people enjoy that experience.
You mentioned earlier, Lakshmi, that you felt that it was a great way for you to be introduced to your culture. Did you feel sort of that you lost some of your culture along the way?
No, not necessarily lost.
Or just more the history?
No, so not necessarily lost. I grew up in India.
Okay.
And so, you know, the culture was around me, right? I was immersed in it. However, what I didn't often know is exactly what it does mean and the deeper kind of connections back to your own spirituality. So, you know, when my children were young and they would ask me about my traditions and say, why do we do this or why do we do that? I did not have those answers because when I was growing up and immersed in the culture, there was no need to ask about it. It was it was just a way of life. But that to me was so important to actually, for this generation, that particularly those that are away from India, living here, to understand and to actually connect back. And when you have this meaning and those symbols explained to you of why you do it, it just elevates it to a totally different level of understanding and spirituality. So that's what drew me to Chinmay Mission, because we can do that through stories and all of the dance and the music we do, and connect everybody, whether you are exposed to it or not exposed to it, back to the real values of why we do certain things.
Siva, this is happening May 12th at the Ridgecraft Theater
in Orleans, Shankman.
Okay.
At 4:30 p.m.
Excellent. Thanks to you both. Really appreciate you spending time with me today.
Thanks for having me.
It was
Thank
great
you for
meeting you.
having it.
Oh, a
Thank you
pleasure. Pleasure. Again, that's happening May 12th, 4:30 to 6:30. Tickets are available at 613-898-7482. And we brought up that email address as well. We'll be back with more daytime to wrap things up right after this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Hey, a reminder that this Sunday, May the 5th, is the deadline to enter your mom in our Amazing Mom Makeover contest. Here are all the details for you. We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is and make her eligible to receive an exclusive makeover package. Just send us a few sentences telling us why your mom is so special and why she deserves a free professional makeover. The winner will receive an incredible makeover prize pack consisting of makeup and hair care services courtesy of Bruno Racine's Salon and L.A. Barrett. They have both worked with some of the biggest stars in North America. So there you go. Again, reminder, this Sunday, May the 5th at midnight, go to rogerstv.com/amazing mom to enter. A reminder as well that the Canadian Tulip Festival is running from May the 10th to the 20th. You've got your opening ceremonies. There's the big parade, tons of activities at Dow's Lake and, of course, down on the Byward Market. And if you want to follow along something cool they did last year, they have something called Tulip TV on YouTube, and I'm certain they'll probably continue with that this year. Listen, thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Ottawa, it's the national capital of Canada. But how much do you know about the city's history? This is Phil Jenkins. Join me as I take you on a journey through Bytown's beginnings, Ottawa's crowning as capital, amalgamation, and its becoming a city of 1 million citizens. Watch The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, exclusively on Rogers TV.
We know how amazing moms are, and just in